I buy my fabric? That's what we're going to talk about today. My name is Cynthia and you're watching Mountain Accent Sewing. I had a viewer recently ask me where I purchased my fabric. She did notice that I had purchased a lot of fabrics from overseas online shops, and I do. But I also purchased some fabrics from online stores here in the United States. And I do purchase very little in person. But today I am going to mainly talk about the online shops and give you a little bit of history of why I buy most of my fabric online. If you're new to my channel is mainly about sewing. I share a little bit about life and hiking, fishing, nature, but it's mostly about sewing. And I haven't been sewing for that many years, and I have no fabric stores that are local to me in my hometown. So when I first decided that I wanted to learn how to sew, I was challenged by some co-workers. Hey, let's make a quilt. And I said, I don't even know how to use a sewing machine. And I went and bought a little $99 sewing machine at Walmart. And I pieced together a little throw quilt just so I could learn how to sew a straight line. That's where I began. I didn't even know how to sew a straight line. And I watched a lot of YouTube videos and started sewing, and the more I sewed, the more I learned. But most of the fabric back then I purchased like at Walmart, and there was a Hobby Lobby. Of course, there used to be a Joanne Fabrics. So I began purchasing like inexpensive fabric just so that I could learn how to sew and practice making garments. And I have to say most of those makes in the early days were fails. I had very few that are still in my wardrobe. But there is a few. And then some of them don't fit because I've gained weight. So it's not all like a sewing skill. Let's get into the online fabric stores that I like to use or that I want to use. And I'm going to start off by the one that I began buying from first, and that is Beyond the Pink Door. And of course, Andrea used to be located in Ireland, and I found her YouTube channel, and I was watching a lot of her videos just about her life and her business when she did the embroidery machines and when she did the Irish dancing dresses and making her own clothes, and she sometimes just share what she had made, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. And then she decided to open a fabric shop, and I said, well, that's where I'm going to buy some fabric from because I always liked what she made. And I still purchase from Andrea to this day, and I started buying a little bit of fabric, and then when she started doing the subscription boxes, I signed up. Early days, I think at the very beginning you had to be the quick on the draw to get it, and I didn't always get the first 2 or 3, but I began by the 4th or 5th, and then I did give it a little bit of a break, and now I'm buying it again. So I get that monthly subscription box from Andrea and occasionally buy additional fabric. And a lot of people have asked me, about the cost, and I feel like the quality of the fabric and the gifts that she includes makes it worth the cost. The shipping is, I think, not that bad since it is coming from overseas. Generally, I think when I purchase fabric, it's around 15-20 pounds now that she's in England, and it might be slightly higher, but it's like minimal, the expense. And the main thing when you're buying fabric like that, when you've got a higher shipping, is to order enough fabric to make it worth that extra shipping without going into the next tier bracket of the shipping cost. And so a lot of times I'll put things in my basket, and then I'll look at how much it's going to cost to ship, and if it goes over, then I remove an item, and I just finagle with it until I'm happy with the amount of fabrics I got in my basket versus the shipping cost. And that's how I decide what to buy. Now, another shop that I have purchased from in England that I really like the fabric, but I've only ordered one time, is from Higgs and Higgs Fabrics. And I was looking for some cotton poplin, and at that time they had some very pretty cotton poplins, and I ordered just a little bit from them, and I really liked the fabric. They had good customer service because one of the fabrics that they had, they didn't have in stock anymore, and they reached out to me, and so I gave them a substitute that I wanted, and they sent that to me. And I don't recall the shipping costs because I haven't ordered from them recently, but they do have high quality fabrics. And then I recently, I guess in the past year, have purchased from Minerva Crafts UK. And I did sign up for the Craft Club membership so I get that 10% discount. And they do have a reasonable shipping cost to the US. It's less than $10 US dollars. I'm thinking it's more like $8 or $9. I can't remember the exact amount. But they also offer free shipping to the United States if you purchase over, I think it's 120 pounds. And so I've put in 2 orders so far, and both times I just ordered enough fabric to get me into the free shipping cost. And I kind of always have a running idea of what kind of fabric I'm looking for, and lengths that I like, and so that I have some what I consider like my staples, and then some fun fabrics. And I've been very happy with what I've received. A couple of the fabrics I ordered, the weight was a little different than what I thought it would be, because it's hard sometimes to pick something online, but the quality has been excellent. And of course, I'll continue to purchase from all 3 of these shops in the future. Now, shop that I haven't purchased from yet is the Fabric Obsession, that is started by Bex at What Bex Sews and Adele at Sew for Serenity. I am hoping to place an order with them in the future, and I did reach out and ask them about the shipping cost, and they think that it might be around 20 pounds, but they would give me an estimate. And so that's what I suggest that you do. If you don't know how much it's going to cost, just reach out and ask, you know, what's the estimated cost, and then you have to figure out like how much fabric you can get for that amount of shipping, and if it's worth it to you or not. I like getting high quality fabric because I find that I wear the garments that I make when I use a good fabric, and they're usually easier to sew with too. Sometimes if it's a viscose, it might be slippery, but still a high-end viscose fabric is easier to sew than a cheaper one. And so I think about all that when I'm ordering fabric. Now let's talk about Australian companies. I have purchased from the Cloth Edit before, and so Gabrielle has some beautiful fabrics, and I really liked that she does some unique prints. And I purchased some linen fabric from her that I still haven't used yet, because it's like one of those fabrics that I'm a little afraid to cut into because I love it so much and I don't want to mess it up. But I am going to hopefully cut into it either, this year or next year. I don't want to leave it in my stash too long. And then I also purchased a lightweight cotton from her that was just a fun print. And the shipping cost, I don't recall how much it was. The cost is comparable since it's coming from overseas. So you know you're going to pay a little bit more. And again, you just factor in the amount of fabric versus your shipping cost and whether it's worth it to you. Now, one of my favorite shops in Australia, of course, is the Dahlia Sewciety. And Kristen has a YouTube channel that I started watching back in my early days, and I think she has great style, just excellent taste. And like Andrea, she chooses high-end fabrics for her store, and I just really like her personality. And so I've ordered fabric from her a couple of times, but I've also purchased one of her bespoke boxes. And if you watch my last year, end of year top 5 garments, I made a dress out of the bespoke box fabric, and it is my favorite make for last year, and it is the Van Gogh bespoke box, and I made the chalk and notch fringe dress. And I have also I think purchased the teal Avery fabric the Indian block print that I recently talked about. And to me, because I really love the fabric and I balanced, you know, the quantity of fabric versus the shipping, it was worth it for me. But you are going to pay a little bit more since it's coming from overseas. And again, I believe that if you have any questions about shipping costs, you can always email her and get an estimate so that you can find out whether it's reasonable for what you can spend. And again, she offers high quality fabrics. That, I think, wraps up all the overseas shops that I've ordered from that, yeah, I think that's all the overseas ones. So let's talk about the U.S. stores. And there are quite a few that I didn't know about in my early days of sewing. And some of them I found from watching other YouTubers. And one of the first ones that I purchased from that is US based is Sewing Studio. At that time it was in Oregon. And I heard Mimi G talk about it, and I went and checked out the website and ordered fabric, and I have ordered from them multiple times. And recently she sold the business to a lady in Asheville, North Carolina, which is closer to me. And I have already placed an order with the Sewing Studio Asheville, and I really like the fabric. And she has kept the prices about the same, and the shipping cost is reasonable. Most of those stores I purchase from the U.S., the shipping cost is usually less than $10. And yeah, so I highly recommend the Sewing Studio. And I know Tomcat Stitchery, or Whitney at Tomcat Stitchery, mentioned in one of her videos a discount code. I'm not sure if it's still valid or not, but you might go check her videos out to see if that code that she gave for the Sewing Studio is still valid or not, and you might get a discount. Okay, and then I have ordered from Cali Fabrics quite a few times. They're based in California. Now their fabrics I think of as being a lot of like your dead stocks, and some of them are less expensive fabrics as far as cost for me, and you never know what you're going to find. But he has some items that are like staple, what I consider staple items. They have a lot of great denims and like shirt fabrics, and like for men's shirts and women's shirts, and just a wide variety of fabrics. And Cali Fabrics has some beautiful fabrics at a reasonable cost and have great customer service, and I've been happy with everything that I've ever purchased from them, and I have purchased from them several times. And then there's Stone Mountain Fabrics or Stone Mountain and Daughter Fabrics. I believe they're also based in California, that I have purchased from. Now I have not bought, I don't know if I bought a lot of fabric, but I bought other items from them. But they have some gorgeous, gorgeous fabrics, and they're what I would consider designer and higher end fabrics. So good quality fabrics, and they have great customer service, and shipping cost is reasonable. So I highly recommend them. And then for athletic fabrics, I use, or knit fabrics, I like to use Surge Fabrics. And they have reasonable shipping, again, under $10. They carry a wide range of athletic fabrics, knit fabrics, and they do carry some wovens, and they have started carrying some of the See You at 6 and like Atelier Jupe fabrics. I haven't purchased those from them. I'd have to figure out if the cost is comparable to what I've paid for Atelier Jupe when I've ordered it from, you know, like Andrea's shop and Beyond the Pink Door. But then I highly recommend them for that. And then of course, there's Stylemaker Fabrics. And Stylemaker Fabrics I've ordered from several times. And I sometimes have ordered from the remnant section and then other fabrics. And they do carry some of the same fabrics that you would find in like the overseas shops. I know they carry a lot of that Dahlia Sewciety fabrics, and what I believe I may have ordered one from them before where I compared the price with their shop and Beyond the Pink Door at the time. I think she was in Ireland, and I just put everything in my basket and I calculated in meters instead of yards, because you can do increments from their shop, like a yard and a quarter or 2 yards and a quarter or a half, you know, whatever. And I did it as close as I could to get the meterage the same, and then calculated which one cost less before I purchased. And they have a lot of other notions that I've buy from them: elastics, buttons, zippers, just a wide variety of things. And they carry a wide variety of things, and I really like Stylemaker Fabrics. Oh, the phone rang, and I'm not sure where I finished talking, so I'm going to move on to the next fabric store. And the next one that I have ordered from is Jones and Vandermeer. And I found it quite by accident. I was browsing for some Liz Taylor fabric, and I believe it's some that I saw Ruanne at the Yorkshire Sew Girl sew up one time, and I couldn't find it, and I was hunting and hunting to see if I could find that particular print, and I found it on Jones and Vandermeer. Now, their website to me is a little bit harder to navigate, and so I find it easier if I, on their search bar, if I just type in the designer company. Like if I want to look for a Dahlia Sewciety fabric, I type a Dahlia Sewciety or a Dahlia Brunette, Liz Taylor. They carry a lot of quilt and cottons, and they carry yarns and a lot of, I think, embroidery stuff, all kinds of things. So they have a huge, huge range, and it's a little trickier to navigate, but they have some beautiful fabrics. And if in the US, if you spend over, I think, $95, you get free shipping. And so yeah, they had the fabric that I was looking for, and I spent over the $95 to get free shipping. And I really love yeah, the fabric and their customer service, so I highly recommend them. I've also purchased from Mood Fabrics, and Mood Fabrics, like Jones and Vandermeer, and also like Minerva Crafts, I find their website's a little bit harder to navigate just because they're so large and they carry such a wide range of fabrics. And it's like if you ever go into a big department store or a thrift store or whatever, I sometimes get overwhelmed if there's too much to look at, and it's hard for me to look. But the great thing, again, about Mood Fabrics is that you can put in filters and filter it down, but still, even with the filters, theirs can be like overwhelming because they have so many, I think probably thousands and thousands, you know, of fabrics in their store and on their shop. But I have ordered quite a few things from them that I like. I have made a little bit of errors when I've ordered fabric from them before, where I've not really considered the weight of the fabric, and I've misjudged what I thought the fabric was that I ordered. And so, yeah, I've ended up with some fabric that I thought was lightweight, and it ended up being heavier weight, and I don't know what to do with it. But they have a lot of great choices on their website, and their prices are, you know, good prices, and they range from low end to high end prices, and the shipping is reasonable. And of course, I can't leave this video without telling you where the fabric that I'm wearing came from. And this is a Spoonflower fabric, and I'm wearing a Friday Pattern Company Donnie shirt. I haven't purchased from them myself, but my son purchased this fabric specifically for me for my birthday one year, and he did a great job, I think. It is a cotton, and it made this beautiful Donnie shirt. And the great thing about Spoonflower is that you can design your own fabric and pick the different fabric bases. So you're like, if it may be cottons, but it could be different weights, and they also do wallpaper and some other things. So if you're interested in having a more hands-on design, picking out your design and everything, then you can check out spoonflower.com. I'm sure that there's some shops out there that, oh, I have got one more that I've ordered from. I almost forgot, don't want to forget them, is Harts Fabric. And actually there's two more. So there's Harts Fabric, and I'm very happy with the fabrics I've ordered from them before. Their shipping is reasonable. They have lots of good choices, high quality fabrics. And I believe I have purchased like some Cloud9 canvas from them. I've purchased Art Gallery viscose fabric or viscose rayon fabric. And yeah, they have just a beautiful range of fabrics, and I highly recommend them. And then another one that is, I think, popular among some of my other YouTubing friends is FabricMart. And I think they're located in Pennsylvania area. And they have a lot of pretty fabrics. Now, some of those are, I guess, designer fabrics, or what I would consider dead stock type fabrics. So they may go quickly, and they have usually huge discounts and low shipping. Now, you will find more fabrics on their website that has polyester blends, and I'm not a fan of the polyester blends. But again, I just filter down and look for the items that I want, and I know I've bought like linens from them before that I really liked. And I think I've gotten maybe denim fabric, corduroy fabric. And so they have a lot of great choices, as well as patterns and notions, and great shipping. And sometimes I think they do some free shipping or reduced shipping sales, and that's another great company to check out. Now, if I have missed a company that you think that I should look into, please comment in the box below, whether it's US based or overseas based, as long as they ship to the United States. I'd be happy to yeah, check them out. And let me know if you've ever shopped from any of the stores that I've mentioned and what you think. I always like hearing what you have to say. And for the viewer that has asked me about where I buy my fabrics, I hope I haven't rambled too much and that I've been able to answer some of your questions. I'm not sure if you're US based or if you're somewhere else, but hopefully it's helped you be able to yeah, find some stores that you might want to check out and purchase from, because there's so many options out there, and I've learned a lot since I started, from like not knowing anywhere to order online or how to go about ordering online, to now knowing that there's a lot of options out there, and there's a lot of companies that I still haven't bought from or haven't heard of. And I hope you've enjoyed hearing about this today, and I will see you next time.